While you find that comment, I'm going to go through Rice Lake and Madison.
Go ahead.
Why are
Okay.
we going through them? Were you there?
Yeah,
Yes, I was there.
You're in Rice Lake?
Yeah,
When?
Sunday
Sunday.
Why?
because I wanted to go over to Rice Lake and I
Because
didn't
they
have to
were
work
racing.
Monday.
Here it is. I found it.
Just so you're look.
Speeding up, no slowing down.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Track Packers podcast for episode 24 of season 4, the Jeff Gordon episode of season 4. I know one person's really happy about that, and we have a lot of racing to discuss here with myself, Mason, Mr. John Breckle, Jessup Pelkey, and Miss Becca Pelkey for another full field lineup. John, how are you doing this week?
Mason, I'm doing well. So it's a busy week because we're taping this in the middle of the week, and both of us are heading to the Science Memorial this weekend, which hopefully good weather wise. I know it's going to be chilly, but hopefully good weather wise, and then we'll see a lot of really good racing.
Yeah, weather's changing very, very quickly, unfortunately, in one aspect. Becca, how are you doing as Jessup is slightly off screen right now?
I am good. Supernationals has been a fun piece of excitement during the week to just tune that in the middle of the afternoon and watch racing while I'm at work. But and we're watching it right now here at the house. So yeah, it's been a fun week with just a little extra racing in the middle of the afternoon and watching some of our local drivers
Oh,
do pretty darn well down the Supernationals.
Absolutely. That's kind of fun to keep track of during the week, especially. Jessup, how are you doing?
Hold on, Mason. It's getting good here. One of the B main
Uh-oh.
bobbies are going to make the feature. Oh, maybe not. What? How's that not Hilda? Oh, that suck out. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
I don't understand. I haven't had a chance to look at it anything all day because I slave at our household to make sure my family is provided for and the blonde bomber is pampered and fed well.
Good job, Jessup. I'm proud of you.
It's what a man does. Don't worry about us, middle-aged males in the world. Nobody does.
Oh, goodness. Well, glad things are going well at the Pelkey household and everyone's staying pretty happy. So good to hear there. I'm doing well myself, getting ready for a grueling couple of weeks ahead, including the John Sites Memorial as well as the Wasota 100, and trying to keep track of IMCA Supernationals and, like Becca said, how everyone's doing down there, which is adding to the chaos of the month of September. It's just started. So we want to thank all you watchers and listeners of the Track Packers podcast that have been supporting us this entire season. We want to give a few shout outs from our last episode, including Ari Compson, Dave Sowers, and Davenport 29 Racing. So thank you guys for checking out our shows, and we'd love to hear who else is watching throughout the rest of the season. And we want to thank our presenting sponsor, Hitch Harness, Tyler Hall, out of Fertile, Minnesota, who finished off the points season at the Red River Valley Speedway this last Friday with a solid sixth place finish in a very, very heavily contested modified A main. John, would you like to tell the folks at home what Hitch Harness is and the services they provide?
yes. So Hitch Harness has a wide variety of accessories and products that you guys can utilize for your vehicle, your personal vehicle, maybe even your work vehicle, or as well as protecting that hitch. You have to protect your hitch to make sure that it does not fly out and hit somebody like Jessup in the head and give him a concussion. That's never a good thing. He's had enough of those in his lifetime already. Now, other than that, race fans, you can check it out. Mason's got it up on the screen. Hitchharness.com. Very, very nice website. Tyler Hall and his team do a great job. They can accessorize anything that you prefer by checking out their website. So be sure, check out the website, hitchharness.com, for any type of truck bed or accessory need.
Accessorize. That's a cool word.
Spell it.
It's like we
No,
were in the spelling bee for back in the A Great American Spelling Bee.
I
What do you
I used to
mean, no?
I did my time in the spelling bee back in middle school, and I
Uh,
didn't win, so I wasn't very good.
the sad part about the spelling bee at my school is like they had all this stupid, ridiculous like words you had to get right to get in. And then like the first 4 rounds, the words were like, spell the word the. Can you use it in a sentence? The word is the. Can you tell me the origin? The is the origin of the. From which continent? The big ones.
Yes, John.
I have a question. Jessup, did you spell it correctly?
No.
No, I'm not surprised.
Weird tangent, but anyways, thank you, Tyler, for your support of the podcast. To the lineup for this episode hasn't changed. John and Jessup still on the front row. Myself and Becca in row number two. We'll just call it row number two.
You're bringing up the rear.
Your tail end.
Yeah, both. Which one's Charlie, though, John? Which one's Charlie?
That's Becca.
Yeah,
We're in
that'd
row
be
number
Charlotte.
two. I did not
Tail
lie.
end Charlotte.
We are in row number two, watching closely row number one.
You are Bono. You are number
You're like
2 of the very group.
you're like a whole half a track behind by this point.
Pretty much, John. They are put down at least a dozen laps, and
At
their cars,
least.
their pit crews are out of tires, and they're out of fumes. They're just trying to make it to the end of the season.
Especially with all their infractions these days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Preach, John. Preach.
Well, why don't we get the race or episode started with the waving or drop of the green flag and get into who or what we are repping? John Breck will start us off.
Okay, so I'm super excited because it's one of my favorite weeks/weekends of the year, right? Start the week with Supernationals with the big dance coming up on Saturday night. I mean, the car count in Boone, very impressive, super fun to watch. And I've been watching a lot of the highlight videos for the features. I've been really busy with work here this week too, since I'm taking off on Thursday, Friday. However, some darn good racing in Boone in those qualifying A mains. So they've been very entertaining to watch with those qualifying features. And our local guys are not doing too bad. Now, the other ending of the week that I'm excited for, because I'm a late model guy, is the Sites Memorial. One of my favorite specials to go to each and every year up at the River City Speedway in Grand Forks. So of course I am repping the 18th annual John Sites Memorial shirt that I purchased last year at the Sites Memorial. Can anybody tell me who was on the back of this shirt?
The winners.
Jessup is right. Now,
Yes.
which winner is on the back of the shirt, though?
Well, probably the late model winner.
15th annual John Sites Memorial winner.
Becca,
The which one, Becca? Becca, which one?
technically, she's right, John.
No, 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 no.
She
Which
said
one did you say?
17th annual
Annual John
winner.
winner is on that shirt.
Thank you.
I
Who
got
was
you.
that winner?
See,
Who
you
was
see
that
how
winner?
this goes, folks? Not only do I get home from a hard day of work, I slave over the stove. I am bending over backwards to make sure Becca doesn't get another caution flag.
To get put even more laps down.
Yeah, that is love.
Oh,
It is.
man.
It's very much love. Okay, so since you guys are not getting this correct,
I'm
the
gonna
the
say,
winner
We
for
don't
the
even get
17th.
any hints?
yeah, give us some hints.
I have to give you hints. Mason, you were. Oh, that's right. I don't think you were there that year.
Good job, Mason. I want you
I
to
don't know
think
if
about where you were.
my mind is like not working right
I
now,
bet
so I
you were
might
at a
not
wedding.
be.
Well, Mason, this would have been 2023,
He was at a wedding.
I
and I
was
think you were at a
actually.
wedding. I
Hmm
Yes,
took
I was.
pictures of Mason's spot for him where he
Was
was
that the
not.
Demagala wedding?
That was
That was,
Tamagala's wedding.
The Demagala.
yes, yep.
Hunter
And Mason
Demagala.
was not present in the grandstand because I had taken pictures of his spot
Hmm.
multiple times that evening. So, okay, so a driver north of the border was your champion back in
Aaron
2023.
Turnbull.
And no, it was
Shane
Shane
Edgington.
Edgington.
Really?
So there's Shane.
Oh,
Because he made it 3 years in a row for Canadian drivers.
So
you know,
I asked a
well,
question.
well.
I
Throw the
asked a
caution, John.
question.
Throw the caution. This is going to be a caution party since I have both sets of flags. Keep waving, John. I'm here for you.
Thank you, Justin.
We can't ask questions without throwing a caution. This is such bullcrap.
That
It's
was not a
ridiculous.
caution. That was a statement made.
No, I asked a question. I said, wasn't it the third
Well,
year in a row
your
for Canadians?
question was wrong, which results in a
No, it
caution.
wasn't. Look, some
Bull
So-
windshield
crap.
wipers.
I ain't putting that on the record.
Wrong caution.
I am
Mason.
not putting that on the record. That is such bull crap.
Aaron Turnbull
You
picked
can't
up
pick or choose,
the
Mason.
Sites
That's how
Memorial
dictatorships work.
in 2020 and 2021. In 2022, Ham Lake, Minnesota's Don
Oh,
Shaw picked up
okay.
the Sites Memorial. And in 2023, it was Shane Edgington who picked up the Sites Memorial. Now, who can tell me who is the defending champion of the Sites Memorial?
Don Shaw.
No.
The winner?
Well, yeah, but what's his name?
Was it Cole
I can't
Searing?
believe Mason is. Yes, Mason. It was Cole Saring. That was your
My
winner.
mind is mush right now.
I'm still trying to figure out a loophole in the rules where Mason can't uncaution flag himself.
He was asking a question.
I was
Back up.
asking
That was
a
wrong.
legit question.
That was wrong.
Good grief.
Let me guess, Joseph. It was not right. It was wrong.
It could have been left.
Well, John, as I like to say, there was a lot of wrong to that question and or statement.
Yes.
Well, either
But
way.
yes, I'm excited for the Sites Memorial as they're going to have Street Stocks, Midwest mods, Wasona mods, and late models on tap for this weekend for some great racing action.
Get
Well,
around that
anyways,
loser. Go.
Cool
Come on, Brandon
shirt,
Schmidt,
John.
go.
Becca, who
Thank
are
you.
you repping? Because I'm going to skip Jessup right now.
No.
You could just mute him and we could get along.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, if he's just gonna sit and watch and commentate Supernationals, let's just mute him.
I'm so sorry, Jessup.
This is really easy to edit out. So go ahead, Becca.
So tonight I am wearing my Velocita shirt that I picked up at Mod Tour. I stopped by the Velocita what do you call it, tent. They set up shop at every track on tour, and I'll give drivers, fans, everyone an opportunity to purchase swag, like I did, or purchase new safety equipment, whether that's gloves, helmet, driving suit, whatever that might look like for you. But yeah, it was a really good opportunity for drivers in our area to upgrade some of their safety gear. I know some drivers really need that opportunity, so I sure hope they took advantage of that when they made a stop at every track along the on tour. But yeah, I stopped to say hello and say thank you for coming on tour and being there for our drivers. And they were very nice to give me this shirt. And I got chit-chatting with them about our podcast. And they wrote our podcast name down. So hopefully they've been tuning in and watching our podcast since the mod tour back in July. But want to give a shout out to Velocita. I know they are set up currently right now at Supernationals. So yeah, they are a great supporter of dirt track racing and the Dakota Classic Motorcycle.
Yes, I'm sure they are having a busy week as we speak.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Jessup, what are you repping?
Supernationals hoodie 7 years ago. There you go.
Nice. Very fitting week to wear that shirt. For my gear, new hat, Justin the Wolverine Vogel, number 10. This is his 2025 hat, so brand new hat. And then the shirt, I am repping the 12 of Brad Singh. I wish I remember exactly what year this is because this is a long time ago. And it's a size small shirt, so it's a little tight.
Kind of reminds me of his car back in like 2009, 2010.
That would be a question for our wizard. Do you know what year this car is from?
Okay, Mason, stand back up again.
I changed my
Ooh.
2011, 2012, I think.
I would say that Becca's getting pretty close.
I'm going to
It's got
say
to be right
13.
around. It's got to be right around 11 through about that 13 time frames.
He had a red car in 2009 and 2010.
I yeah, that seems right because I had a bunch of shirts given to me. So this kind of a shout out to the racing community because we flooded out in 2011, and so I we lost a lot of stuff, and a lot of the racers around the area and around the state actually sent a lot of shirts and pictures and stuff to my family, and this was one of the shirts in that pile, and that was 2011, so probably right on the nail. So yeah, big weekend coming up for Brad Singh and all the late models around Grand Forks with the John Seitz Memorial, as John alluded to earlier. And so that is who or what we are repping for this episode, and we'll move right into the Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind to give a shout out to Hot Sauce himself, Isaac, in the 12S IMCA Modified and the 104 IMCA Stock Car, who was doing double duty this past weekend at Motor Magic. Got a couple of top 10 runs, one in the stock car and one in the modified. So pretty busy weekend for Isaac. Be sure if you see him at all throughout the rest of the year, maybe one of these upcoming specials around the region, stop by and say hi. One of the nicest people to talk to, and they always have some great goodies in the Sandro pits. So thank you, Isaac, for your support on the podcast as well. Alrighty, John, would you be willing to kick off things this week for the Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind?
Sure. So I went more late model route because of the site's memorial, and I kind of hope somebody went like modified route for Super Nationals because I was thinking about even going that route, going back to some old Super National photos. That would be kind of fun.
Ooh, challenge accepted. I'll see if I can find one more here.
Okay, so here, let me share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see it.
Yes.
Okay, so whose late model is this?
Ricky Weiss?
No.
No. Trying to 7. BG's Grill. Don't know who that is.
Probably not Harry Hansen because I feel like Justin would have
No,
said that right away.
it doesn't feel like a Harry car, and it doesn't have the sponsors that it would have them.
I don't know. Do you got a hint at all?
Well, you guys have been talking about him.
Well, it's either Weiss or Harry.
You said it
It,
wasn't
it, it would
Ricky.
it would be Harry based on what I'm looking at here. It looks like it's Harry Hansen.
Mm,
Should I
Joseph,
zoom
this
in a
is
little
your
bit
neck of the
further?
woods.
this might be before I was following super close, but none of these
It's
look
from
like
like the
Harry's.
early 2000s.
I don't think so, John.
It's too bad we can't see like the top of the car.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's not early. Oh, give me a second. As I'll leave the never-ending Red River Valley Facebook post.
Gosh.
Okay, well, let me go to my next one if you guys are okay with that. Okay,
I
so
don't
here's
think
my
so.
next one. So here's my next late model. Can you guys tell me the year of this late model?
What's the number?
97?
Old.
Oh,
No,
you're close, Mason.
it's gonna be
You're off a
95.
little bit. This is 95.
I was gonna say
Eight.
that's an old.
God, they looked
I'll,
so good back then.
I'll give you a hint. This driver is still racing. He has got multiple national championships
I take
in
that
this.
back. John, you are right. That probably is Harry.
Is that Kent Arment? It looks like
What did you say, Becca?
Kent Arment on the driver deal.
But Becca, you are right. This is a Ken Arment late model from 1995.
Oh
That
wow.
is so funny because I'm looking for mod pictures on the Arment Motorsports page right now.
Hmm. John, you are correct. That is Harry. I don't remember these sponsors though.
Well, I could maybe, was it a car that he bought maybe and put his number on the side?
No, no, because I'm looking at his racing fan page and BG's Bar and Grill. I don't remember that, but that's probably a few years before I got really, really into it. And Snickers Pizza. I don't remember any of this.
So now I will let you guys know. I think you'll get the last one very easily.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either.
My question is what year is it?
Mm, mm. Goodness.
2000?
No.
Mm, no, I'm gonna say like 97, 98.
Yeah, Jessup, you're right.
I'm
John
not gonna lie.
Sights.
I think the cars looked way better back then.
This is, I believe, John's second year in the late model because his original late model that he purchased was like all black. It was an all black scheme. And that
I
was
say
after, he had won the Superstock National Championship from Minnesota.
I don't recognize that scheme at all.
So this is one of his early ones.
Scheme, white with a black trim and a purple number. Scheme. And if I would say that's a nice looking car, everyone would be, oh, it's a throwback. Dude, that's a proof car.
It's not a throwback, Jessup, it's one thumb
Yeah.
One thumb up.
up.
John
Okay.
Sakes, you get one thumb up on this scheme.
I actually did manage to find three different mods, but they'll be pretty easy, I think.
Well, it's late model weekend. It's the
Well, that's
world.
Brady Gertis.
Brady Gertis.
That is correct. I
You
saw
can
that
see
scheme.
it.
I'm like,
You can see it's
I mean, you
Gertis
can
by the way
see
it says
Gertis on the
Gertis on
top
it.
of the
oh dang it,
car.
it does. Well, every other car, the Gertis is on the bottom of the driver's side. Or
Jessup,
dang
I'm
it,
glad we
Brady.
both got that at the same time.
I'm glad you knew the first name because I don't know that area very well, but I knew it was Gertis. That would be Van Mill.
Which one?
That's Chris
Probably
Van
Doug
Mill
Van Mill. I don't know.
Which
44D.
one?
Mason. I already said it. It's Chris Van Mill
That is Chris Van
Doug,
Mill.
Chris. Why would he see 44D?
because him and Rob used to be in the same class, and
Uh,
in the dad, their dad,
oh,
Corey used to be 40.
Yep.
that
This
doesn't
last
answer
one
the
should.
D.
That's Eric Edwards,
Yep.
Really?
the kid, in his
Yep.
Wasota modified.
I will say I've never seen Eric Edwards, either of his cars, anything but black with like a orange number.
He used to have some like colorful paint schemes back in the day.
Hmm.
Some really nice ones, especially
Yeah,
on his
it's
Midwest
pretty
one.
neat.
There we go. That's this week's Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind. And we move on to the track pack report, which guess what? I don't have to start this week because couple people got to go to racing before anyone else this weekend. Jessup
And
and
that was
Becca.
the only racing we saw all weekend.
I was kind of wondering if you made it to another race, but I'm like, I
Nope.
don't think they made it anywhere.
I
At least you guys were at a track. I'm just proud of you for that.
we did not have a lot of options. It was you got to go, 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 and by the time we got done, it was we're looking at each other. You want to go to Rapids? I don't feel like driving anymore.
Well, tell us about your Thursday adventures.
Well, Mason, we went to my favorite race of the year, and that was the Silver 1000. Not much else needs to be said
Would you like to explain why it's your favorite race? What makes it?
because it's the invitational race that kicks the whole year off. Even though this year the Twin 25s got dropped back from July to the night before the Silver 1000, but we're still saying that was the end of the regular season, and this is the beginning of the invitational season. And yeah, it's probably my favorite race because it's my favorite childhood race. And then we get to meet a bunch of good racers and uh, former racers. It was got to do that again, and yeah, it was just a good time. All in all, good time. Always a good time. Usually a lot of good food, a lot of good fun, a lot of laughs, and really good racing. And yeah, that is why I enjoy the Silver 1000, minus the fact that it's a true invitational setup with only two divisions, not a bajillion divisions.
He definitely
Anyways,
does.
it was a really good night of racing. We got there. It was a little chilly, but all in all, it was. I didn't have really any concerns there. They had 39 late models in attendance, which was a little light from what I thought they would get. I thought they'd be right around 50, to be honest, but apparently um, some didn't want to make the trip over from Superior from the night before. So that happens. But they had a really good field of late models, a really solid field of Wasota modifieds, which they had 29 of. And all in all, I mean, you look through the fields, you got a lot of Wasota's who's who in the modifieds. A lot, I'd say a lot of the more northeast drivers for the Wasota modifieds, with a few travelers. I would say it was cool to see Gurkey over there, along with who was the other one I thought was pretty interesting. Uh, well, Sabraski was there too. That was I like seeing Sabraski. Gurkey was the fun one. Austin Chiba was another fun name to see on the list, and those would be like the only two that really stood out as like kind of a surprise to see there. Um, Late model wise, it was it was the challenge series, so you got all the big names for the Wasota guys. Not a, I don't know if they had a South Dakota guy, but they had a couple guys from Iowa with the Franks. They had a guy from Colorado and a handful. Oh, we had a North Dakota guy. Got to have Mike
Impressive.
Reseth over there. That was pretty cool. And then a bunch of Wisconsin and Minnesota individuals out there scrapping to see who would walk away king of the late models. Um, Overall, racing was good. Track was it was a little different. It didn't slick off like I thought it would have. But it's usually a heavier track going through the heats. But by the time B mains come around, it usually slicks off by the end. And this one, they got to race everywhere. It was really good racing, just a little different than what I expected. Um, let's go modifieds first. Modifieds, um, Andrew Inman picked up the big win for them. He started on the pole, led all 30, which was cool because they had lap leader money for each lap, and he
That's
took
right.
all 30 laps and got all the money there. He held off a hard charging Jody Belfi and a really hard charging Ryan Gerke and Shane Sabraski, who was plus 10 in the feature. Caden Blazer also was coming pretty hard towards the end. He was up to fifth, going plus 9 on the feature. So that was pretty cool. Um, so Andrew, I think this was his first real attempt at going for the Silver 1000. I don't know if I think this is his first year, might be his second year. I think this is his second year in the
With his
mod.
second year in the mod. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember if he raced it last year. Oh my God, they went airborne. Holy crap! Someone hit Vanderbeek, flipped it into. I don't know if he hit the catwalk.
I got it.
Oh, that's bad.
Did he hit it on the top, Jessup, or did he go into the catwalk?
He launched it off of 1 and 2. He flipped after the landing, and I don't know if he hit it.
Well, it's a yellow flag now. It's not red flag.
Well, I think they just put yellow on the thing. Anyways, so big win for Andrew. Is very emotional in the victory lane. Fun fact about Andrew, not many people know. My wife probably, I think I told her this, but I played hockey with Andrew on pickup hockey in Hermantown. So, um, yeah, I was pretty stoked to see Andrew get the big win out there. That's a great feat for him. Um, but yeah, it was a really good time watching one of my former buddies pick up the big one. I don't know if he hit it, Becca. Driver's okay, but he he had to have hit it because it looks like it went through. Is that on the other side?
No, track side.
There,
Dang, he must have been in a heavyweight battle for the lead, considering that it was like dead heat at the line for one to go.
yeah. Now going on to the. Sorry, everyone. I have ADHD's kicking in hard. Now, so the late models, big win goes to Ashley Anderson. I called it at the beginning of the night. I said I thought Ashley would win after an extremely strong performance over at the Superior Speedway. And I am struck by this. This is very fascinating. There are more people around this car than I've ever seen. Anyways, back to the Silver 1000. Ashley Anderson was basically a man on a mission. There was nobody was going to touch him. Um, even hometown hero Daryl Nelson wasn't going to get him. And Ashley looked really, really good. He was going through the lap traffic. Although there was a point where lap traffic ended up going 3 wide in front of the leaders, and that held him up for what would you say, back at 10, 15 laps? And that was pretty fun to watch because everybody was coming and going. Kevin Burdick was trying to make a run at him. I thought Eater was up there for a little bit, but Sammy Mars was coming. It was definitely a fun battle there. And John, I think we've met our competitor who could match Gov Cup Mark Dahl.
Oh boy.
Oh,
I I think this is a fair assessment. For those who don't know Mark Dahl, he is an IMCA modified driver out of Bismarck, North Dakota, and he is basically untouchable at Gov Cup every year, which is our 2 day July, one of our
special.
invitational races. Special, yeah. Silver 1000, Daryl Nelson, I think could pretty much be neck and neck, if not ahead of Gov Cup Mark Dahl.
That makes sense. I can see that.
Because he's as dominant in the mod as he is in the late model, and he's the only one to have swept the Silver 1000.
Very tough to beat over there.
The other interesting fact that came out of Thursday night was, I think for the first time, I'm not sure, and I'm sure if we go back and look at it, someone will throw a caution at me, but in recent memory, we'll go with this. In recent memory, this is the first time I don't recall the previous year's Silver 1000 winner who is in attendance not make the following year's feature. Pat Dorr looked not very good this
He
time.
didn't look very good, did he?
He looked like he was struggling all night,
Hmm.
which is very unusual because Pat's. I think he's at least a two. I think he's a three-time winner now.
Oh yeah, it was him and Radetzky going at it last year.
Yep.
Oh, that was weird to see on the results. I'm like, Pat Dorr didn't make the feature. Yikes.
Yeah. That
This
there
fast.
were some good names that didn't make it. I mean, Gressett somehow got in. I don't know how he got in, but he got in. And then let's see, Dorr didn't make it. Harry did. I think they got their results mixed up here. Budaslavich didn't make it apparently. Harry didn't make it, and Lodiger got in somehow.
Well, the competition late models has really stiffened up over the last couple of years, and so it's
Hmm.
not sometimes it's not a full guarantee, no matter how much experience you got if you're making it into the final A main of the night.
I'm really confused. Huh. Oh, they must have got in through provisionals. Okay, that makes more sense.
Oh yeah, since it's a Challenge Series race, yeah, there's provisionals.
Hmm. Anyways, great night of racing. Got to see some familiar faces. Got to see an old buddy win, and yeah, can't be too upset about any of that.
Yep, sounds like a good start to invitational season with the Silver 1000. They were the only ones to take in some racing on Thursday. John and I were busy racing starting on Friday. John, how did Nodak Speedway go for the first of three nights for Motor Magic?
So Motor Magic and Nodak started off with a pretty good night of racing on Friday night. They had a pretty good field of cars because there were only four classes running during the they had their sport mods, hobby stocks, stock cars, and modifieds. So those were their main divisions that were running. They call it now the Harvest Showdown. I still call it Motor Magic, but it's Harvest
Mhm.
Showdown at Motor Magic. And total wise was 97 cars in attendance. And let's just go through the results here really quick. In the Hobby Stocks A main event, it was Tyson Grinstead who won that A main. It was him and Diesel Rayner that were going through it for the lead, and Diesel actually blew it off the high side with only a couple laps left. And Tyson went on to win that main event. In your sport mods had 24 cars, and it was a great battle up front between Chad Strachan, Gabe Deshaw, and Taylor Stenvold. And it was Chad Strachan that picked up the win from let's see, from starting third. He started third and got first within that A main event in the 132 car. In your stock car division, stock cars had 28 entries. Very nice field of stock cars. And it was a great race up front between Mad Mike Hagan, Gabriella Deshaw, Jeremy Swanson was up there. Marcus Tomlinson was right up there. And it was Mad Mike Hagan who picked up the win on Friday night. And then in your modifieds had a total entry field of 24, full field of cars. And it was the dark horse who is right now racing in the Boone at Supernationals, Travis Hagan, who picked up the win over Zach Doctor. Zach Doctor looked really good all weekend up at Motor Magic. So congratulations to those winners on Friday.
Good start to the weekend up in Minot. Now, I was undecided up until Thursday night on where I was going to go on Friday. And to start off the Friday recap, I went to the Red River Valley Speedway. It was announced the night before that the Big Currs and Nick Scolicki, who have been running that track for the last 10 years, they would be not running that track starting next season in 2026, as the Fair Board will be taking that over. So, kind of a lot of emotions go into that, and so that made my decision easy on where to go on Friday. And so, Friday was their track championship night with the Legends, Sport Mods, Stock Cars, IMCA Modifieds, and IMCA Hobby Stocks on hand. 86 total cars, really good crowd for obvious reasons. Didn't start off without a hitch though, as we had a rain shower storm pop up around 6 o'clock, so that made things a little wet. But kudos to the track prep crew. We got started right about 7:15, so not too late of a start, and so good job to all involved to get that race going. So the first feature of the night was your NX Legends. They had 24 of them in attendance, and they lined the features up by points. So that would have your top point contenders kind of going at it to start the night. And Turned out to be a battle to the end with Sean Johnson edging out the 28, Josh Weist for the feature win. And Sean Johnson was your track champion as well. So a great way to end the season for Sean Johnson, the 58. Up next was your IMCA Hobby Stocks. They had 9 hobby stocks in attendance, and a name that probably a lot of folks aren't familiar with, but I think he's been around racing for several years. Daniel Beckman in the 23 got his first win of the season. He started pretty much dead last and got to the front, or just a few laps to go in front of Reed Randall. So congratulations to the 23, Daniel Beckman. In the IMCA Sport Mod, solid field of 22 cars, and it was Kyle Van Mill in the 4D using the high side to get around everyone in front of him from the sixth starting position and holding off the 7-hour Ryan Rested for the win. So Kyle Van Mill continuing on his great rookie season in the Sport Mods. In the IMCA stock cars, this was the points battle of the night as Rob Van Mill and Calvin Kesselberg were tied going into the night. So basically, whoever finished in front of the other was your champion. Rob Van Mill had the early lead, but then Calvin Kesselberg, using the padded bottom line that he likes to use around the Red River Valley Speedway, took the lead and never looked back. So he got the feature win and the track championship in front of Brody Carlsrud, sponsor of the show, in second, and Rob Van Mill in third. And then in your IMCA modifieds to finish out the night, it was Lindsey Hansen, loyal listener of the show, took the lead on the start from the outside pole position. The lead got a little bit tight as they were going through lap traffic. The caution fell, and then once the restart happened, checked back out on the field. So he got the feature win to finish out his first full season at the Red River Valley Speedway in the IMCA modified in front of Jesse Sklicki, who was your track champion there. So fun night at Red River Valley Speedway, and great job to the crew there for a great year out at the racetrack and a great last 10 years for the Big Curse and Sklicki. So on to Saturday. John, back to you.
So, night 2 of Motor Magic. And this time around, we added the slingshots and we also added the sport compacts to the racing divisions. And car count was pretty healthy on Saturday night. They ended up with 141 entries. So, really good field of cars there for night 2 of Motor Magic over in Minot. So, let's start with your slingshots 19 slingshots, really good field of cars. And it was little Eli Turnbull that picked up the very popular win over there at the Nodex Speedway in Minot. He did that over Hudson Mann in the 195 machine. In your sport compacts, it was a battle up front right to the line between Zach Eubanks and Nikolai Topolsky in the 19T machine. They were side by side coming out of turn 4. It was Zach Eubanks who picked up the win over the field of 17 drivers in the Sport Compact A main event. In your hobby stock divisions, the hobby stocks had 24 entries. And it was a battle up front again between Tyson Grinstead and Diesel Rayner. And also Chris Rangeloff was up there. Chris finished second in that A main event, one of his best runs in the IMCA hobby stock division. And it was Diesel Rayner who picked up the win in front of a very nice grandstand full of people on Saturday night. Then in your sport mod division, sport mods had 25 entries. And it was the Gabe Deshaw and Chad Strachan show again in the sport mods. Those drivers have been putting on a show each and every week up in Minot this year. So not surprising that they were the top 2, with Gabe Deshaw taking the win. In your stock car division, stock cars had 26 entries on Saturday night. And it was a double up, with Gabe Deshaw picking up the win on Saturday night. Gabe was railing the high side and he was gone. So really good race behind him between Kyle Schlopp, Mad Mike Hagan, and Marcus Tomlinson in the battle for second through fourth. Then in your modified division, that was a great race. 30 entries in your IMC modifieds. Very nice field of mods. And it was the Big Show Jason Walla and the Dark Horse Travis Hagan who put on a show up front. Those two were slicing and dicing through lap traffic, with the Big Show Jason Walla picking up the win on night 2 of the Motor Magic. So very nice field of cars and some very nice racing action on night 2 of Motor Magic up at the Nodex Speedway.
Excellent. Saturday, I ventured over to Viking Speedway for the first night of their doubleheader. My first time there since May. 71 total cars with their 5 regular racing divisions: Midwest Mods, Street Stock, Supers, Hornets, and Modifieds. with Midwest Modifieds kicking off the action with a great battle between Josh Buzz Music and Tanner Bitson. Tanner Bitson, the 42, would go on to get the feature win. So he kicked off a great night of racing over the Viking Speedway with another great solid crowd in attendance. They had 17 Midwest mods. Street stocks. When your front three consist of Eric Riley, Justin Volko, and Kyle Dykoff, starting first through third, it's going to be an interesting race. And they were putting on a show. A lot of slide jobs, a lot of 2 and 3 wide action. They were doing the same thing through the heat race. And in the end, it was Kyle Dykoff edging out Eric Riley in a photo finish to get another feature in out at the Viking Speedway. Great, great battle in your Wissota Street stocks. Super stocks went clean and green. They had 11 super stocks in attendance, and they had 15 street stocks as well on Saturday. It was Ryan Satter trying to track down the 21 of Trevor Sauer, and he made a slide job attempt coming to the white flag in 3 and 4. Didn't quite stick, and so Trevor Sauer hung on for the feature win on Saturday night in the 21 machine. Hornets. Now, this was a preview of what was to come for Sunday, as they had the Dustin Burkus Memorial Race where they would race for, I believe it was $4,060 to win in the Hornets. So they were racing for the elevated payout, but not for 4,000. But you think that they were racing for 4,000 on Saturday. We had a little bit of contact between Matthew Dittman and Cole Campson battling hard for the lead, and unfortunately, that ended up with those two drivers DNFing. But Jeff Roner, who was also in that battle, would go on to get the feature win in front of the 03 of Christian Cass. So Jeff Roner starting off the weekend well in Alexandria. And then your Wissota Modifieds, 15 of them in attendance. It was Dusty Bidson, started outside pole and checked out on the field. And so he would grab the feature win in front of Brady Curtis and Josh Tennis. And that was your action at Viking Speedway on Saturday. John, go ahead and finish out the weekend up in Nodak.
Yeah, so we had the final night of Motor Magic over at the Nodak Speedway in Minot on Sunday night, their typical race night. And car count was pretty good again, 138 cars. It was the six divisions back in action. And let's start in your junior slingshots, who had 22 entries on Sunday night. Very nice field of slingshot drivers. And it was Gunnar Reynard who picked up the win in the 50 machine. So congratulations to Gunnar in that 50 for picking up the big win in your slingshots. In your IMCA Sport Compacts, they also had 17 entries. And this time around, Zach Eubanks was gone. He yarded the field and picked up the win on night 3 of Motor Magic in the IMCA Sport Compacts. That division had 17 entries. In your IMCA Hobby Stocks had 22 cars, and it was Diesel Reynard who picked up the win on night 3 of Motor Magic. It was kind of a grid battle up front between him and Tyson Grinstead until they got together. Tyson went tail end on the restart and got his way back up to 5th. So congratulations to Diesel Reynard in the 96 for the win. In your Sport Mods on Sunday night had 22 entries, and it was Gabe Deshaw who picked up the win over Cole Hanshoe. And Gabe, in the 21D machine, ended up being your champion of the non-Oktoberfest. I almost said Oktoberfest. That was not the right thing. Motor Magic in the 21D machine. Mason, you can cut that out. In the stock cars had 28 entries. Really nice field of stock cars. And this, in my personal opinion, might have been the race of the night. Because the stock cars went 30 laps and started 3 wide. They did the same thing for the mods last year. This year they chose the stock cars. Stock cars ended the night up there at Nodak. So, in the stock car race, there was a lot of moving and shaking in that race. Bottom groom was very, very dominant to start off that event, with the high side slowly being worked in throughout the race. And the race with about 5 to go got really good up front because Kyle Schlopp, who started 14th on the field, was slowly working the high side during the restarts because they went the first like 15 laps green. Then they had a couple cautions, and he was slowly working the high side in. And Kyle in the 2K machine was slowly working in that high side as the drivers on the bottom of Jeremy Swanson and Chris Tusher got together coming out of turn number 4 with about 3 to 4 laps to go, and Kyle flew past them on the high side. After that, the drivers went every which way on the track, and they were 3 and 4 wide through the remainder of that feature race from about third on back. So, but it was Kyle Schlopp who picked up the win over fellow Canadian Jeremy Swanson. Chris Tusher was third. Mad Mike Hagan was fourth, along with Brendan LeBas in fifth. And it was Mad Mike Hagan who was your champion of Motor Magic in your stockers. In your modifieds, it was once again the show up front between Travis Hagan and the big show, Jason Wall. And just like the previous night, they were slicing and dicing through lap traffic. Caution came out with a few laps remaining, and Jason Walla held off a hard charging Travis Hagan to pick up his second win of the weekend at Motor Magic. Your champion for Motor Magic was the dark horse, Travis Hagan, in your modified division. We also have to give a shout out to Aaron Turnbull in the modifieds. Aaron started 23rd and finished 6th, and the modified feature event had one caution.
Nice
So,
work.
very nice run for Aaron through the field.
Sounds like a
But that
fun weekend.
It was. It was a fun weekend up in Minot and some great racing action to go with it. And the mosquitoes weren't terrible. They were bad, but they weren't terrible.
Mosquitoes. Yeah, that's one thing I will not miss here in a few weeks. So, excellent weekend for John up at the Nodex Speedway. On Sunday, I was crazy and I did a 5 hour jaunt over to Rice Lake Speedway because I thought, why the heck not? I have Monday off and we're going to go travel somewhere since I kind of stayed close to home up until then. So, Sunday was night two of the Dairyland Dash, their second annual running of that event. A lot of cars there, 148 total cars. And they got started at 5 o'clock and finished just a little after 10:30. So, nicely ran show with that many cars. Street Stocks kicked off feature action, 16 of them in attendance on night number two. And this was a great race between Hunter Van Gilder and Nick Trainer. Hunter running the bottom, Nick Trainer running up high, and a photo finish resulting in the 84 of Hunter Van Gilder picking up the feature win. With Soda Midwest Modifieds, 34 cars in attendance, so a nice healthy field of Midwest Modifieds, and they went clean and green for their feature race. So hats off to all those drivers on a great race. Early on, it was a battle between Joey Jensen and Brady Larson, as those two were kind of trying to take each other's lines and maybe a little bit of blocking. And Blake Adams in the 40D took advantage from the eighth position and zipped around both of them and won by nearly 5 seconds on the field. So congratulations to the 40D of Blake Adams. Super Stocks, 29 Susu Super Stocks on hand, so good field there. Great race again. This time it was between Dexton Cook and Joey Jensen, the 21 Super Stock. They were swapping the lead back and forth several laps. They had a caution about 2/3 of the way through, and I don't know exactly what happened, but Joey Jensen, as they were coming to the restart, pulled into the infield and off the track. So, unfortunate mechanical troubles for Joey Jensen ruined his race, but Dexton Cook took the lead and then inherited the lead on the restart, and he would go on to get the feature win in front of Dan Estalke and Alex Myers. With Soda Modifieds, 24 cars in attendance there. Early caution on the start, but then they ran 25 straight laps, green to the checker, and it was Caden Blazer in the 428, who's been a little bit kind of MIA with engine troubles for a bulk of the year, but he looked solid out in front. He got the win in front of Mike Anderson and Brady Utanen, who started 11th and moved up to third. USRA late models, kind of were familiar more with the Gen X late models. Well, they're USRA late models over in that area. They had 25 of them in attendance. It was Cade Nelson picking up the feature win in front of Cooper Sunby, who briefly took the lead in lap traffic, but then same next lap, I believe, Cade took it right back because of lap traffic. So kind of a little bit give and take there. And then in the pure stocks, 20 of them in attendance. This was also another great race between Mark Barta and Tyler Wallstrom. It was Tyler Wallstrom who came across the finish line in first. Unfortunately, he was disqualified in post-race tech for, I believe it was a bead lock on the right front. So that handed the win to Mark Barta. And so that was your night over at the Rice Lake Speedway for the Dairyland Dash. Again, very, very good racing and very good field of cars. And then the last race on Labor Day weekend, I ventured over to Madison Speedway for their Labor Day season championship night with all of their regular racing divisions. Starting it off in the pure stocks, it was young Colson Schultz grabbing the feature win in front of Laban Albertson, who actually those two tied for the season points championship. So they deemed them co-champions. So congratulations to both of those drivers. Street stocks, Very good field of street stocks, 25 of them in attendance, and pretty good race throughout the field. Although Levi Rand kind of checked out on the field for the most part, and he would lead from start to finish in front of Maria Brooksick and Colton Schuler. Shout out to Corey Dykoff, 23rd to 5th in that race. Very good job by the 3C. Midwest Modifieds, Darren Engesser started on the pole and had to hold off several challenges from Tim Canton, Justin Bjorkman, and Ryan Flodden. He got his, surprisingly, first win of the season in the 11S. So, congratulations to the 11S of Darren Engesser. Super Stocks, it was a battle of the 71s of Justin Tamman and Trevor Nelson, with the 71 of Trevor Nelson coming out in top from Warner, South Dakota. Wasota Modifieds, Brian Haben looking for his first win at Madison. No, that might be incorrect. I believe he's got 4 wins on the season, and this was his second win of the season at Madison Speedway in the 6-star. Congratulations to Brian Haben. He held off Mike Stearns and Blake Adams for the feature win there. Gen X late models, that went to the 15 of Trevor Walsh, who has been winning at pretty much every track that he's visited throughout the summer. And in your Wasota Hornets, it was the 23T of Anthony Jensen holding out Jeff Roner, as those two are in a very, very tight battle for national points. And that finished off the night at Madison Speedway, where we avoided weather that was very, very close by. I had my drone up making sure it stayed away. So, doing my duty as a, I guess, weather person for the day. And that was Labor Day weekend for us as the track packers. And so let's move on to what's upcoming next with Mr. Dakota Dirt.
And did you know, race fans, you can check out everything that you want from all the North Dakota racetracks, including some surrounding tracks from other states and provinces through dakotadirt.org. They are social on social media platforms, so check them out. A lot of great racing information is on that site.
Thank you, John. Well, it's a busy week. Not really. There's one big race in North Dakota, and that's about it. Thursday, tomorrow, is the prelude to the Johnny over at the River City Speedway. And John, what all is racing?
So the classes that are running during the Prelude as well as during the John Sykes Memorial are your Wasota Street Stocks, your Wasota Midwest Modifieds, your Wasota Modifieds, and your Wasota Late Models. So your Wasota Modifieds will be doing a complete show each night, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The Wasota Midwest Modifieds, Wasota Street Stocks, and Wasota Late Models will also be doing a complete show on Thursday night for the championship of the NLRA. The NLRA Points Championship will be determined on Thursday night. Then on to Friday. Friday is going to be qualifying races for your Wasota Street Stocks, Wasota Midwest Modifieds, and your Wasota Late Models. They will be doing heat races, and then the Wasota Late Models will be doing dashes. The Modifieds, it is the Delaney Memorial Race. That will be happening on Friday night for your Wasota Modifieds. And then Saturday will be the conclusion of action with your consies and your features for your streets, Midwest Modifieds, as well as your late models with the 92 lap, $9,200 to win Wasota Late Model A main event in memory of John Seitz on Saturday. And then your Modifieds, another complete show for your Modifieds on Saturday night. So should be a great weekend of racing. They have sold out of all their reserve pit spots now. They do have the overflow area, which is also going to be quite full during the weekend. So it should be a very nice field of cars. Last year, there was a total, I believe the record was 62 late models that was set last year. I could be wrong on that, but it was in the 60s last year, which I think, Mason, we might have the ability to beat that this year with the late model car counts being very healthy throughout the state and throughout Wasota country.
So from there, we go on to Friday, night one of the John Seitz Memorial. John,
Which starts at 6:30.
very good. What all
Thank
is
you for that
taking place,
reminder, because
John?
I would have thought it was 7.
What
Tomorrow
all
night
is
also
taking
starts at
place,
6:30.
John?
So it will be heat races for your Wasota Street Stocks, Wasota Midwest Modifieds, and your Wasota Late Models, along with the Go Hard or Go Home pole dash for your Wasota Late Models to conclude the night on Friday night, and a complete show for all of your Wasota Modifieds as part of the Delaney Memorial.
And then we go on to Saturday, the 6th, at the River City Speedway for night 2 of the John Sites Memorial.
And that is the championship night with the 9,200, 92 lap to win with Soda Late Model, a main event. Consies will be happening for your Midwest Modifieds, Street Stocks, and late models before they run their A main feature events. To conclude the racing action that night will be your 92 lap late model event and a complete show for your Wissota Modifieds.
Anyways, Mason, that is all that is occurring in North Dakota this weekend that I'm aware of.
I, from what I can see, there is nothing else happening within the state of North Dakota.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
not too much outside the state of North Dakota this weekend. We have KRA Speedway Racing on Friday the 5th.
of
The
course they
Northern,
are.
yes, and the Northern Nationals is taking place 2 nights over at the Gondik Law Speedway. So that's going to be a good show for them over in the Iron Range. Practice
How
night
many
on
nights
Friday.
is that, Mason?
Is it 3 nights? Starting on Thursday? Sorry, that's my mistake.
Jessup, do you want me to get it out?
No, we don't
You can
throw
give them
cautions.
another one. And because that's your second caution.
We don't throw cautions when Jessup makes mistakes on the schedule.
I didn't make any mistakes on the schedule.
In the past, you goon.
When?
When? Oh gosh, do I need to go through each individual episode?
I don't recall. We
Mason,
don't
it's
have the
insert
time.
here.
But tonight, Mason, we've given you an opportunity to correct your error. How many nights is the Northern Nationals?
I guess technically it's 4, because I
And now
guess,
you've corrected yourself. I'm only going to give you one of the cautions rather than just black flag you all together.
yeah, so tonight when we're recording this, it is the XR Showdown in Souptown and open practice for the Northern Nationals. There we go.
Very good, Mason. Continue.
Northern Nationals continue the 4th, 5th, and 6th over at the Gondik Law Speedway. They have an assortment of classes. Thursday, they got Midwest Mods, Pure Stocks, Hornet Streets, and the UMSS Wings Sprints. Friday the 5th, they have, get it pulled up here, Late Models, Mods, Super Stocks, and Midwest Mods. And then the 6th, they also have, load please, Late Models, Mods, Super Stocks, Midwest Mods, and it looks like a Canadian Clash. Not sure what that entails.
All Canadians.
Oh, fun.
It's
They usually
pretty
get a
straightforward, Mason.
gotcha. Awesome. So that should be a fun weekend over in Superior.
Yep.
Saturday, the MPH Invitational is taking place for the Wissota Mod 4s, Wissota Pure Stocks, and Wissota Hornets as the big kind of kickoff, lead off into the Wissota 100 week over at the Granite City Motor Park on the 6th, and then practice on Friday the 5th. And then the Corn Cob Nationals are taking place at Belfort River Speedway on Saturday and Sunday. They have an assortment of classes taking place there as well, including lightning sprints, legends, short trackers, IMCA hobbies, sport mods, race saver sprints, and Gen X late models. And fair races at Madison Speedway to finish out the weekend. So that is your racing for this upcoming weekend, unless I'm missing something.
You did not mention the Jerry Richard Memorial at Cedar Lake Speedway,
Oh, I'm sorry.
which
This is
they
true.
have the 410 sprint cars of the IRA, and they have 360 sprints, and they have the wingless and the I think it's the Renegade wingless as well. No, it's the Renegade wingless joined by the Wisconsin wingless sprints for 2 nights, Friday and Saturday, with a 10,000 to win Saturday night race for the 410 sprint cars. They currently have 39 pre-registered sprint cars for the 410s, and they're expecting over 100 sprint cars in attendance.
Dang. That should be a pretty good weekend over there.
Yeah, it should be.
Oh.
But I can't go.
I was just gonna ask, are you making an appearance over there?
I wish, but not this time. No.
So now we will display the white flag and give a shout out to our good friend Brody Carlos for the B1 IMSA stock car, who is currently down at the Boone Supernationals. Believe live update, he finished fourth in heat race number 16 today, and he will be starting sixth in the fourth B feature. So getting some valuable points and hopefully getting himself closer and closer to a chance at the big dance. And so be sure to stay up to date on Brody's Racing with Brody Carlos with B1 Racing on Facebook and his podcast, The Real Deal with B1. So thank you, Brody, for your support on the podcast as well. Wins of the week. John, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to give my first win of the week over to the Big Show Jason Walla, who swept the events that he was in as part of Motor Magic over there at the Nodak Speedway. He was pretty dominant this weekend over at Nodak and kind of kept Travis Hagan at bay, which is tough to do at the Nodak Speedway or even at any track around the state of North Dakota. So that's my first win of the week. My other win of the week, I'm going to steal it right out from Mason. It is going to Kyle Dykhoff because Kyle swept the weekend over there at the Viking Speedway and looked really good on Saturday night in a great battle up front with Eric Riley and Justin Vogel. So, congratulations to Kyle Dykhoff on a very successful weekend as he's preparing for the Wissota 100. Maybe we'll see him at the sites and hopefully maybe see him at Stampede and some other areas out there as he's had a very strong season in that 11 machine, your Street Stock Tour champion. And then my final win of the week, which I think I'll leave a couple of them on here maybe for you guys, with a few of them that are probably on your guys' schedule. But my final one is going to go to Todd Stark in the 33 machine because Todd and Tommy Nichols had a very heated battle for the points championship over there at Casino Speedway in Watertown. And Todd, after the heat races, was tied with Tommy for the points lead going to the feature and won the feature event in the Wissota Midwest Modifieds to be your track champion for 2025.
And I think that was his second track championship of the year, as he also won over at the Brown County Speedway.
I went back to look too because I remember Todd's name, right, for many years racing. And then I got to thinking, I was like, the 33 has always looked really familiar to me, and I couldn't place it. I'm like, I know he's not a Wissota Midwest Modified driver, basically back in the years. And no, he was a Wissota Modified driver
Mm-hmm.
back in, the mid 2000 era to about maybe the mid 2015, 2014, 2015 era. And I had seen Todd race multiple times over there at the Brown County Speedway, and he actually traveled with the Advantage RV Mod Tour for a little bit and adventured up into the North Dakota area as well as into the Ada area back when the tour went over to those tracks. So that's where I kind of remember Todd with his all yellow 33 modified and was always very clean looking mod. And I do like his paint scheme on his with Soda Midwest modified right now as well.
It does look really nice. Great wins. Jessup, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to start with Andrew Inman picking up his first Silver 1000 win. I already talked about it enough. Congratulations, buddy. Well-deserved win. My second win, I'm going to give it to Dave Mass for surpassing Shane Zabrowski in the Challenge Series points going into one of the. Do they have any other races after Fergus? I know Fergus is the closer.
No, Fergus is the closer. Yep.
The only 7 points separate them, so that should be an exciting battle. So the hunter becomes the hunted now. So that's going to be my second winner, and my third winner of the week is going to go to Tony Stewart.
Saw that.
So, in essence, in motorsports, American motorsports history, to this point, Tony Stewart is legitimately the very best racer to this point. And I say it that way because Kyle Larson will probably surpass him at some point. But Tony Stewart did something this past week that almost no other driver, I don't think any other driver has done. He's won a NASCAR Points Championship, an Indy. It was either Indy or Kart. I can't remember which one, but I think it was Indy Car Points Championship. He won the what was the series that he had? Was it STX? Uh,
SRX.
SRX series, and now he won the regular season NHRA Top Fuel Drag Points Championship. There ain't anybody else in the racing world that can hold a candle to that right now.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
So he gets my win.
Very well deserving of a win. Becca, go ahead.
Um, I'll give my first one of the week to Gabe Deshaw, who uh, swept the races he competed in on night two of Motor Magic up at the Nodex Speedway. He was your IMCA Sportmon and IMCA Step Car feature champion on those particular nights. So congratulations to Gabe. It's a very difficult feat to just race two race cars and then he put both of them in victory lane. So congratulations to Gabe. My second one of the week goes to Ashley Anderson. He finished runner up at the Gauntlet Law in the 225s Minnesota late model feature race on last Wednesday. And then he was your Silver 1000 winner last Thursday over at the Proctor Speedway. So very, very good weekend for Ashley. And then, gosh, my third one of the week. I think I'm going to go with Jake Charnell and Nick over at the Red River Valley Speedway for their 10 years of great leadership behind the Red River Valley Speedway. They've really turned that place around when they took the reins, and they did great things by moving that racetrack forward. And I think they're going to be greatly missed. And all I'll say is I know there's a lot of opinions about what's coming ahead, but best of luck to the Red River Valley Fair Board and what the leadership that they'll bring to the track.
Absolutely. Definitely was a win on my list. I'm glad you mentioned them once again, Becca. My three wins to finish out the segment. I'm going to give a win to Cole Gresseth, who got a win up at the River City Speedway on Friday and also got a win at the Greenbush Race Park on Saturday. And then Sunday, got a win at the Buffalo River Speedway and also the track championship out there. So another solid weekend for Cole Gresseth. I believe he's up to 27 feature wins now, continuing his dream season as he calls it. And he's going to be tough over these next few weekends with some of the invitationals coming up and specials over the next several weeks. Second win of the week, I'm going to give it to Dusty Bitson in the 10X Wissota Modified. One on Friday over the I-94 EMR Speedway, and then one Saturday and Sunday at the Viking Speedway. So 3 for 3 on the weekend. Pretty solid weekend for the 10X as he gets ready for the Wissota 100 in just a little over a week. And my last win of the week, I'm going to give it to Tyson Grinstead in the 82 IMCA Hobby Stock. I believe, well, winning on Friday night, I think that was 3 in a row at that point for his like 3 wins from like he won in Southwest, mine on championship night, and then won Friday at Motor Magic. Finished third on Saturday and fifth on Sunday to be the Motor Magic champion up at the Nordic Speedway. So great way to end the season up in mine for the 82T. Tornado is his nickname. So congratulations, Tyson, on the fun weekend. Any closing thoughts or remarks as we wrap up episode 24?
I do have one because I am going to promote us really quick. So it is going to be a little chilly this weekend, and it is beanie season, and we still have beanies. So be sure to purchase a beanie from us and to support the Track Packers podcast because it will be starting into the fall-like weather here for the year-end invitationals. So be sure to purchase your beanies and wear those and support us in the podcast.
What else can you promote, John?
Should I promote the Stampede Shakedown?
We should. We still have a few openings left.
We do, and I feel like after this weekend, we're probably gonna fill those. Hopefully for the Stampede Shakedown. But the Wasota late models at the Stock Car Stampede in Jamestown in a couple weeks on September 19th and 20th, they just got a bump in payout
Mhm.
as well. They're now $5,054 to win. 54 signifies the 54th annual Stock Car Stampede. And yeah, we myself, Mason, Jessup, with the help of Becca as well, do a lot of promotional stuff for the Stock Car Stampede, but also help out late model drivers that have never been to the Stampede in a late model or haven't been there in the last 5 years, which 2020 is the cutoff. So if you have not been there since there and you want to join us, hit us up through the Facebook page and we can get you registered for the program.
Excellent.
Havlicek, go!
I
Go,
got nothing
Havlicek,
more to add. Becca,
go!
do you have anything
Now,
more?
come on, Jessup, you got to put more emphasis in it. It's
Hold on.
ow.
Best of luck
Yeah.
to our
Oh, Havlicek, go!
Nationals. Hopefully they end the week on a positive note and represent North Dakota very strongly on the big national stage like that. And then also, racing season is winding down, so be sure to go out and support these big races here locally, here around North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota. And it's one of the last few times we'll be able to go to the track in person, so be sure to support these shows if you can. And then if you can't go to the track, you can always watch them, or most of them you can watch online. So.
Absolutely. Exhibit A is Jessup watching as we speak currently. Jaden Pavlicek out of Castleton is currently leading the last chance feature in the IMCA Sport Mods. So we're gonna hope and pray and cheer that he hangs on and gets himself into the big dance. As that'll do it for episode 24 of season 4 for the Track Packers podcast. As always, be sure to like, share, and comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Thank you to our sponsors, Hitch Harness, The Real Deal with B1 Brody Carlson, and Isaac Hot Sauce Sandro. Best of luck to everyone at Supernationals and the upcoming big events this weekend, and we hope to see you all out there packing the track.